massive action by the central government. This is what sources are indicating. An affidavit likely to be filed before the Supreme Court tomorrow, especially in this particular case of the viral video where the videographer has now been arrested.
See, Madhav, there is a phrase in Hindi where we call "Der aaye durust aaye," but something has been started, and it is a positive note. Being in opposition, it is not always that we have to blame the ruling government. But we are facing right now, there's two problems we are facing. One, the Modi government is not serious enough from last 80 days. And now I don't understand why the Prime Minister of India is not allowing himself to come inside the parliament and give a speech on Manipur or make it solve. Now, we are talking about the third term as well. Yesterday, I heard the Prime Minister that he was very positive about the third term, whereas as of now, India is not in a functional state. It is, you see, most of the states are not in a functional state. There's some problem or the other. You can't deny that. But there is something called positiveness, which is not coming from the Prime Minister. What we want, what is the opposition asking for? Are we asking for too much? The Minister of Council is headed by the Prime Minister. So why should we listen to Piyush Goyal?
Tausif, I don't know if you heard.
Or Amit Shah?
I don't know if you heard Prahlad Joshi and the presiding officer. One second, Tausif. I don't know if you heard the afternoon's proceedings. I was there in Parliament at around 3 o'clock when, in fact, the presiding officer at that point of time and also the Parliamentary Affairs Minister said that 10 days' time is available with the Speaker to take a decision. 10 days are at his disposal. And the presiding officer specifically said that within 3 to 10 days, a decision would be taken. That's the prerogative of the Speaker. That's the prerogative of the Speaker, says the government. But let's not divert from this massive development. Let's for a moment just discuss.
I totally respect the parampara of the Parliament that we have to wait 10 days. That's what I'm telling you, that der aaye durust aaye. But something has been started which is positive as of now.
Let's get reactions, please. Let's get reactions on this. I want to also bring in Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP. Siddharth Yadav, der aaye durust aaye carry TMC. How would you react to him? Because this is, of course, one case. It's a landmark case that certainly shocked the conscience of the nation. But there are other, about 6,000 FIRs, I believe, that have been filed in Manipur as well.
Yes, definitely, Madhav. I feel it's a very important development, and your channel has reported it very rightly. The developments are going to fall in further as well, because the government is very serious about what we are doing in the state. Be it the 2 months of violence, we made sure that the Home Minister was there, he camped there. The forces, the central forces, 40,000 of our armed men were there, and they were trying to ensure that no violence happens. But in an utter shame activity, we saw that such a shameful act happened, and now definitely all such actions are being taken so that the perpetrators of such a crime can be put to justice. But I would also want to object to what my friend from TMC was just saying. He said that India is not in a functional state. I object to that, and it's a very serious allegation to make. It's a baseless allegation to make. India is in a very progressive state right now. We are progressing day by day. Probably TMC wants India not to be in a functional state, but India definitely is in a functional state. I want to ask them, when was India in a functional state? In 1975, when the emergency was imposed? Or the 10 years of rule when we saw 5 governments? We have a stable government in the center. The people are ready for development. Right. We are seeing development in all sectors. It is very unfair for a political party, and I would say today, a very unserious political party like TMC to come out and say that India is not in a functional state. Probably you want so, but that is not the case.
All right. Many hands going up. I'm going to allow Tausif to respond to that. But Tausif, one of the things that you said, one must look at also a very important announcement coming in of 36,000 forces coming in, a buffer zone that is to be created between the fighting communities. This is a massive step which could perhaps be decisive in terms of ensuring peace in the valley, which has perhaps been elusive for the past 2.5 months. So a big decision on that count also that has been taken, Tausif.
Before I jump the gun, Madhav, it is very straight that I'm not going to back out with my statement. Again, I'm saying when you talk about third term, you need to fix your own country, and it's not in a functional state. Because why? Because as you sow, so as you reap. Aapne jo boya, aapne wahi dekhoge aap. Because two weeks back, they were attacking Bengal, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and other state that is not in a functional state. But they don't talk about the BJP ruled state. So if you want to talk about the non-ruling state from BJP and you want to attack the other 6 states, so what? You really think it's in a functional state?
Bengal is not India.
Just because it is not ruled by BJP, just because it is ruled by TMC, Congress and other regional parties, so that states are not in a functional state. So you should be accounted as a Prime Minister that your country is not in a functional state. And you should not see Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne. Aap Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne
Okay, gentlemen, please wait with me. Please bear with me for a minute. Before I go across to Kailash Adhikari and other spokespersons who are there with us at the moment, including Ramesh Sabharwal. I have Bhavtosh with me. Bhavtosh, at this moment, given the kind of circumstances that we are looking at, different cases that are present in Manipur, can you apprise our viewers as to why this is such an important decision? Because the CBI has very different forensic tools from what are available traditionally with state police forces. And given the number of alleged accused in the videos, dozens, hundreds seen, FIR in fact mentioning 1,000, how will this materially affect the investigation process into this horrendous crime? Bhavtosh.
Madhav, the most important part is that the government looking into the gravity of the offense and the fact that the country itself has been outraged after the video has become viral, has decided that the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is India's premier investigating agency, will look into this case. But this is not the first case that CBI will be probing. It has already been probing 6 other cases. So in total, CBI will now look into 7 cases of violence and also of armory which has been looted in Manipur. It has been probing cases for past 1.5 months, and these investigations are at a critical juncture. Importantly, the Ministry of Home Affairs has also said that the trial in this particular case should be shifted out of Manipur, looking into the fact that the victim in this case has been receiving threats. Now, the Manipur police has already arrested 8 odd individuals in this case, and it's expected that the CBI will formally take over this case very soon, and the custody of these individuals will be taken, because both the victim as well as others have said that they don't have any faith in the investigation that was being carried out by the state police. Having said that, there is also one more case that is being probed by the NIA, which is Federal Probe Agency, which looks into the terror cases. So there are 2 agencies which have been probing various cases. There is CBI that has been probing the violence that have been broken in Manipur since May, and there is also an angle of terror cases which is being probed by the NIA. So we are looking at the possibility of 7 cases which are 8 cases which are being probed by the 2 agencies. 7 will be probed by the CBI, and 1 case which is already
Well, absolutely. There are even opposition members who are saying questions of India's territorial integrity are being raised with those kind of developments happening. So clearly, of course, if there are cross-border aspects of investigation, perhaps the NIA would be best equipped to deal with that. Bhavtosh, stay with us. Let me quickly get in responses from other panelists as well. Ramesh Sabharwal is the leader of the Congress party. Ramesh Sabharwal, whether one supports or opposes the government, any which way, it's a massive development that has been just announced. The CBI probe into the horrific video that had gone viral, the videographer being arrested, and also the possibility of the trial being carried out outside of Manipur. Big development. Ramesh Sabharwal.
I think the CBI should investigate that why the culprits were not arrested for the last 2-3 months. That is more important. The DGP should be suspended. The Chief Minister should go. I don't know why we are debating to other part. Such a crime has been done in India. First time in the history of India. This is the second part. First part is that we should investigate, the CBI should investigate that why the police has not taken the action since last 3 months, last 2 months. Why? What was the collision between the political system? Why the societies are fighting? And there should be a president rule first. The Chief Minister should resign. The Prime Minister should apologize to the country. He's not realizing because he has no family. He has no daughters.
Let's not make personal comments, please.
I
understand your age. No, Mr. Sabharwal, I understand your age. We are all incensed. Sir. There is no question of not being outraged after seeing that particular video. No, but let's not make personal comments, please. You may want the Prime Minister to make a statement in the House. No, Mr. Sabharwal, every political party, or any citizen who wants the Prime Minister to make a statement in the Parliament is justified in making that demand. But my only request is, at this moment, let us not make personal jibes. You make a personal jibe jab against your another party's leader. The BJP spokesperson will make a personal jab against your party's leader. I don't want to go down that road. Please, I do not want to go down that road. Please, let's maintain our calm. Let's maintain our poise. Please, let me bring in Kailash Adhikari on the points that you have made. You have made certain points. Kailash Adhikari, here you have Ramesh Sabharwal saying that this is too little, too late. Why has the DGP not been suspended? Why should the Chief Minister not go? Perhaps those should be aspects of collusion of the administration that the CBI should also be investigating, is his view. Your response to that, Kailash.
Madhav, firstly, I'd like to say, and you rightly pointed out, that nowadays the opposition, be it the TMC or the Congress, in their bid to get at the party in power or the Honorable Prime Minister, they just cross lines and they don't understand the difference between the blurring lines. They're calling India a dysfunctional state or not in a functional state. Sir, you are in a civilized, we live in a civilized society. You are in a city where there is electricity. You are getting all the facilities because India is one of the most progressive nations on the global map. Let's not forget that. We are not oblivious to what is happening in Manipur. But how can you say that we are a dysfunctional state? Are you not living properly? You're getting your basic amenities properly? And now commenting upon the family of the Honorable Prime Minister. And the Honorable Prime Minister, Madhav, has always asserted that 1.4 billion Indians are his family. What is the response to that? Now, secondly, coming to the Manipur violence, as I said, we are not oblivious to that. And the administration has to stay strong. What is the purpose of asking for resignations? In that sense, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan and the Chief Minister of Bengal should also resign over the countless number of atrocities against women that are happening. And the Honorable Union Home Minister Amit Shah has flown down to Manipur along with other senior leaders. And today he has said on the floor of the parliament that he's ready to answer all the answers.
He should go again. He should go again.
No, I'll answer.
There should be accountability and responsibility should be fixed.
Okay, Tausif, there is a point he's making. He's saying, you're calling India a failed state. Failed states examples are there across the South Indian subcontinent, across South Asia. Now, surely one cannot call India a failed state.
I would request both of them to go to Somalia and live once and understand what India is as compared to.
Again, let's not get personal. But Tausif, we have to maintain our poise. You may feel aggrieved about issues. There is reason for you to perhaps feel aggrieved. I'm not going to discount that. And you must raise questions. There is no doubt. Opposition must raise questions about the governments at state central level. Certainly, that is what our political system is all about. But to say that we have failed as a nation, that Kailash feels you've gone way too far in your commentary. Please respond to it.
Give me 30 seconds. Please give me 30 seconds. Okay, what I want to say that from last 1 month, my fellow colleague who's sitting on national television, I guess he never heard, like BJP was after 4 states, Jammu Kashmir, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. They were crying who and everything that this state is not in a functional manner. They needs emergency. So Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Jammu Kashmir is a part of India as well as Manipur. तो अगर आपके 5 से 6 स्टेट में अगर इमरजेंसी की सिचुएशन है, so you have to understand India is not in a functional state because this statement is not coming from my side. This statement is coming from your side. From last 2 months, every time you sit on national television, you tell me Bengal emergency, Rajasthan emergency, Jammu Kashmir emergency, Chhattisgarh emergency. Why? So this is what I am repeating. When you are seeing a dream of third term, let me tell you, your Prime Minister and my Prime Minister spends 4 hours a year in Parliament, but spends 40 hours for campaigning.
That's not factually true, Tausif. Please, that's not factually true. Where are you getting these statistics from? I cover Parliament. The Prime Minister has seen for definitely more than 4 years. Let's not bring falsehoods in, please. I mean, you can criticize them, but criticize them on the basis of facts, not on the basis of falsehoods, sir. You may have a problem with the Prime Minister, but let's not bring in complete lies. Let's not bring in complete lies on national television, please. Tausif, my request to you. But since you have raised questions on governance, I'm going to allow the BJP spokesperson to respond to you and Kailash as well. Siddharth Yadav. Yeah, 1 second. Tausif, now you've spoken. Now let the others come in. Yes.
Tausif, I was not interrupting. I did not interrupt anybody. Please give me 30 seconds straight. I have to reply to some of the things. First of all, Mr. Sabharwal was speaking. I think he made a very personal comment and he should apologize for that. But I feel more appalled when Sheila Dikshit, one of the chief ministers of Delhi, she said in Nirbhaya, please, Mr. Sabharwal, I was not interrupting. Mr. Sabharwal, please have some courtesy, sir.
I feel sorry.
Have some courtesy, Mr. Sabharwal, please have some
Okay, he is apologizing. Okay, he is clarifying that he is apologizing for his comment. That's it. Fine. All right, Mr. Sabharwal, we've got your point. Yeah.
Yes.
Siddharth Yadav, yeah.
Thank you. So my point is, Madhav, we should be equally outraged when Sheila Dikshit comes out and says in Nirbhaya that why are you blowing it out of proportion? This is not such a big case. This is what the Congress has been saying and doing over the years. Mr. Tehsi was saying right now that Chhattisgarh, Bengal, J&K, Rajasthan, we never called them a failed state. If you have an objection, if you point out that in Rajasthan, 6,337 rapes are happening in a year, 17 rapes per day is the average, and you want to tell us that we should not even point out that, then probably, sir, you are highly mistaken. Nobody's calling them a failed state. We are calling a failed state. The only failed aspect is the failed state of affairs of the law and order in those states. And begin with Bengal.
But let me just end on one point. We're completely out of time, Siddharth. We're completely out of time, Siddharth. But let's just remember one thing: the complete breakdown of the law and order system and machinery in Manipur perhaps is not paralleled by any of the other states. The situation there is extremely grim, and we all have to be conscious about that fact when we comment upon all the other states. Yes, what Centre has done today in terms of the affidavit that's going to be filed in the Supreme Court is definitely a big step, perhaps even a welcome step. But the road to justice delivery and normalization of the situation in Manipur is going to be a very long one, and we are all going to be watching out to how that actually happens on ground. The state government and the centre are all on test at the moment. Siddharth Yadav, Kailash Adhikari, Ramesh Sabharwal, Tausifur Rahman, thanks so much for joining us this evening.